Okay, folks, welcome to the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance podcast. My name is Scott Brock. I am the founder and director of the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance. June 27th, 2024, this is our very first podcast, and I wanted to take a few minutes just to break down and give some information about who we are, why we're here, and what we plan to do. So, obviously, if we're here talking about sportsmen issues, you have to realize the level of passion that I have for all things outdoors, and more importantly, all things Idaho. So, um, hunting, fishing, outdoor recreating, camping, ATVing, dirt biking, fishing, trapping, everything that takes place in the outdoor space in Idaho is near and dear to my heart. And I want to be able to give my time and some of my resources to ensuring that not just myself, not just my family, but your family and your kids and your grandkids all have the same opportunities that we currently have here in Idaho. Right now, hunting and fishing is fantastic. We have opportunities as residents, and what I've noticed is over the years, the political spectrum or the political pundits have started to make their way into hunting and fishing and trapping. And there are states around us that are being bombarded and have already changed for the worst. You notice even recently, Colorado has made some changes. No more over the counter elk for archers. So there are a lot of changes, and Washington has changed, Oregon has changed, Wyoming is holding strong, and so is Idaho. And Utah has had some very strong changes over the last 10 years. So the goal of the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance is to bring a voice for Idaho sportsmen. Now, the problem that I see it as of right now, is that we have a lot of different voices. We have number one, I'll go with the Idaho Wildlife Federation, which I back, I support financially. The past director, Brian Brooks, is a fantastic gentleman, extremely knowledgeable, and did a extraordinary job bringing the Idaho Wildlife Federation from obscurity up to the forefront of conservation issues in Idaho. He did a great job. Brian has accepted a new position at the national level. I think he's going to stay here in Idaho living, but his time will be devoted really for national outdoor space, wildlife space. Um, I don't know, fights, I guess you could say. And so there'll be a new director coming in that has not been chosen yet as of today. They do not know who it is. I think Brian told me there are three finalists, and he said we should be in good hands. Um, on top of that, you have all the other sporting groups. You have the Idaho Guides and Outfitters Association. We have Mountain Biking Association. You have ATV Trail Riders Associations. You have archery, hunter associations. You have mule deer associations. You have Rocky Mountain Elk. You have all these entities. But the issue that I see is that when I go to the Capitol and I watch bills potentially being brought forward to the Idaho legislature that affect hunting and fishing, what I see is very few people there. As a matter of fact, mostly who I saw there was Brian Brooks from the Idaho Wildlife Federation. So you had one singular voice who would show up and be able to give input from the perspective of hunters and outdoorsmen and women. So the idea was to be not a sister company, because or organization, because we're not connected to them in any way, but to be able to double our voice was really the idea. That's what I thought. And as someone, myself, who has ran for public office a few times, I'm a loser. I have not won an election, but I was willing to put my hat in the arena and get beat up and play the political game because I thought issues for Idaho were important. And there are things that I think need to be protected, and I value them, and I wanted to put in the effort. So those failures actually led me to the creation of the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance, Inc. Now, the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance name has been around. Um, it has been held by other folks. Currently, it is not really being used, and for much that I ever saw. So, I applied through the Secretary of State and got all the business and legal requirements taken care of for the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance, Inc. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. And what we're going to do is inform and educate about political issues that may affect that space, that hunting, fishing, recreating, trapping, mountain biking, etc. There's going to be times when we will overlap in our ideas with other groups. There's going to be times when we do not. But the bottom line is being a voice for all of them, is trying to get them all under one tent, allow the conversation to flow back and forth on what we think is going to be good for Idaho and the particular genre of outdoor activity that you do, whether you're a guide, whether you're a Joe average hunter like I am, not sponsored by anybody, and being able to voice the needs that we have and to be able to protect our hunting traditions and our fishing traditions and our trapping traditions. So what I plan to do moving forward is make sure that we are all represented at the Capitol. And so the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance, Inc. is the 501c3 that will help educate not only non-hunters, which represents about 94% of the population, but also educate the 6% of the population, which are outdoor enthusiasts, hunters, and fishermen. So we have to do some things on our own, and we definitely have some image cleanup to do. We need to hold ourselves accountable, and we need to be a better advocate for the things that we want to do. So I'm willing to put in the time and the effort and the financial resources to get this thing up and going. And I'm hoping that I can get all of the groups, like I said, to kind of be under one tent. Individually, they will have their own members, their own direction that they're going. But when it comes to legislative issues, I want us to all kind of work together and then be able to voice that at the Capitol. So some of the things that we plan on doing, I need an email list. I need you guys to go to the website and sign up so that way you're part of the email chain. And I'm going to teach you how to email legislators when things come up. That is an extremely effective way of having your voice heard. How to do testimony if you're not able to drive all the way to the Capitol, then you can testify on legislative issues that come up in the resource committee via Zoom. So there are ways to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'd like to teach us hunters how to treat other hunters, how we should set the standard, how we should act around each other, how we should take care of our public lands, etc. So there are big shoes that I would like to put my feet into, and there's a lot to chew. but that's the direction we're going. My wife is part of this organization. My wife is a hunter by marriage, and she has learned that in order to spend time with her husband, she has to go into the woods and hunt. So uh, she's actually become a very good hunter, and I'm very proud of her. So she got her first elk 2 years ago, and she's excited. So she did not get any draw animals this year, but nonetheless, she's going to go out and work hard. So my wife is on the board, and then I also have Ryan Landis currently. Um, and once you go to our website and you see what we're about, you'll understand that we're not PhDs. We're not paid by any organizations. We are not owned by any organizations. We are not owned by any politicians. We are average Idaho outdoor enthusiasts. I just happen to have an inside track on being able to speak to lawmakers, being able to present in committee and testify. I understand how all that works, and I'm willing to put the time into it. It's an hour drive for me to drive to the Capitol, but when there are things that need to be testified on behalf of Idaho Sportsman, I'm going to be there. Whether it's snowing, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be there. So I'm willing to put in that time because this is I have such a level of passion for hunting. And I am a self proclaimed elk addict. It is literally all I think about year round. The minute the season stops, I start thinking about the following year. So the things that we have to watch for are opportunity loss as residents of Idaho. Um, we have to understand that we are the recipients and we pay for the management of our species in Idaho. So residents are always the priority. We have to understand that opportunities will dwindle as we grow as a state, and there are more resident hunters in the pot. We have to understand that Idaho Fish and Game is not our enemy, that they are our partners, and we have to learn how to work with them. We also have to learn that legislators should not be in the business of managing wildlife. They are elected officials, and many of them have a paper thin background in anything, much less wildlife issues. So it is important that we allow fish and game and science and the biology to sort of run or put forth the ideas of how management and opportunity for hunting and fishing in Idaho is going to go. But we, as the recipients, as the taxpayers, the ones who are footing the bill for all of that, we should have the final say. And so we want to listen to everyone. There are no PhDs here. No one. I like to give Brian Brooks a little bit of ribbing. He is very well educated and has degrees in, the outdoor uh, biology space. So super, super smart, $10 word guy, and I bounce things off of him all the time. Well, that's not who I am. That's not who anybody who's on this board is. And what we are people who devote our time and effort, and we truly are passionate about it. Our lives are shaped around everything outdoor hunting and fishing here in Idaho, and it is why we're here. It's just who we are. So it's not it's our identity. So it's important that we learn how to utilize information that might come from biologists within fish and game, but it also has to be approved or understood by us residents, us resident hunters, the ones that are buying the tags and paying for all the programs. So there's going to be good things and there's going to be bad things. And the bottom line is that we we still have opportunity here in Idaho. We still have a, a really good level of access here in Idaho, but it's going to change. And it's going to change because of A, the influx of people moving here, and B, we will be the last bastion for real opportunity. And you're going to see federal conservationists coming after us. And when I say that, I mean, I hate to throw out a term, but there are groups, the tree hugger type groups that are out there, and they're looking to pick away at small things that you think aren't that big of a deal. For instance, taking away some of our wolf trapping time because of fear of grizzly bears getting caught in wolf traps. And, I'm not a rocket scientist and I'm not a PhD in wildlife biology, but we have no evidence, zero evidence of that. And yet, a federal judge has ruled that Idaho had to curtail some wolf trapping during certain portions of the year. And so those are the conservation groups that are large. They're national. They get millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars donated to them every year to go after states and to shut opportunity down. And they have extremely sharp environmental attorneys on their staff, and they have donation money that is directed just toward paying environmental type attorneys. So those are all the things they're going to be coming for us, and they already are coming for us. And just because it's good now doesn't mean in a year or two it's not going to be. Over the last couple legislative sessions, I have seen an alarming trend of legislators, newer type, out of state, move in legislators who don't understand um, land access, water, fish, hunting, etc. And they're willing to put in bills to make changes that will affect you and me. And simply because some of their donors wish this. So we have to be able to curtail that. And where we step in hard on that is the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance PAC. And that is a political action committee. Um, and we will be able to do a few more aggressive things on the legislative side directed at legislators who are not outdoor friendly. And so that's one of the things that are going to set us apart is being able to not only educate on the administrative side of things with the charity, the nonprofit, it's not charity, the nonprofit is the correct word for the 501c3, but also in the PAC, the Political Action Committee, which is our sister entity. So, and that will be a first in Idaho of having a 501c3 with a paired sister entity that is a political action committee. So again, it's going to take funds. You're going to hear me ask for donations, and that'll be for, I'll be able to, we want to spend 100% of whatever we get toward the real fight. And, we're going to be transparent, let everybody see our 990 when we file. But the bottom line is that we have to get ahead of it. And in order to do that, I need an email list. I need this email list to be long. I need to know the email address of every single hunter and fisherman in this state. I have to have that email list. That is how we're going to deter legislators from being bought out and putting, listening to bad information and going down a road that will affect us as outdoorsmen and recreationists forever. So that's why the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance is here. So pulling together all of the, you know, all of the smaller or even the larger organizations, um, pulling us all kind of under one umbrella, and then being able to go to the Capitol and speak and to be able to meet with lawmakers and try to make sure that they're not going in a lane where they shouldn't, and then also spending time at the meetings for Idaho Fish and Game, and understand that what has happened in other states is that members of that board, of the wildlife type boards in other states, those are political appointees. And so as you get more of a Democratic or liberal type governor, they'll start their appointees, and then they'll start down the the ultra conservationist type uh, uh, alleyway, and next thing you know, you have a fish and game entity that is all the voting members are um, crazy and or agenda based, and that's really what I'm talking about, is being agenda based. And our agenda is opportunity and access for Idaho residents. That's the bottom line. Non-residents come second. But being able to go to those Idaho Fish and Game meetings, understanding that Idaho Fish and Game is, those board members are appointed. So Fish and Game has to work with them. They don't necessarily get a say in who sits on that board, on that commission. So we need to make sure that we're doing all of these things the correct way, or otherwise opportunity is going to go away here. And I think it's going to be devastating, um, not only economically but socially. I mean, hunting and fishing and trapping, outdoor stuff is the backbone of who we are as a state. And so that's why it's so important. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm putting the effort in. So that's our briefing. That's the beginning video. I wanted you to know who we are, why we're doing this. And if you want a little more background in some of the things that are happening, especially in Colorado, Colorado's on the forefront. They got some huge battles coming up. So listen to Randy Newberg and Corey Jacobson. They're on Hunt Talk Radio, and they have a podcast, and they talk about these political issues, and and they have been for, I'd say, probably for the last 6 or 8 months, 10 months. Randy Newberg has been fighting these battles for years. Corey has just kind of stepped into the arena, but you need to listen and have background on what all is going on. I can't afford, with just the few people that we have working on this right now, to be going backwards. I need to be going forwards. So this is another part where you, the hunter, you, the outdoorsman, outdoor woman, you can do your homework, is listen to the podcast and hear what other folks are talking about. And then we'll move forward. We're going to continue to move forward. We're going to be on top of, wolf hunting and grizzly bears and draws and resident versus non-resident opportunities, etc. Access to land when they start shutting down public land, selling of our public land to out-of-state folks, understanding the difference between federal land and state land, and why state land is better than federal land, etc. So all of these issues need to be explained in a way that you can understand them, so you have a better grasp and you're better informed to make good decisions. So those are all the things that we're going to be doing, but that's forward movement. I need you guys to go back and do some research and listen to some podcasts, and I'll plug them because I want you to listen and learn from them. So, but that's who we are, the Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance, Inc., 501c3 charity. Our website, I'm going to pull up my phone and make sure I'm giving you the exact verbiage, and it'll be linked pretty much everywhere. I just want to make sure that everybody is exactly. So it's Idaho Sportsman with an S, Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance.org. That's Idaho, SPORTSMENS, Alliance, ALLIANCE.org. That is your website. That will tell you. Oh, wait. So that is the wrong one. So that is the wrong one, because I have bought up I bought up 4 different names, so that way we could not. So that way we had all different domains, so that I could use them in the future for. Holy mackerel! Can't find my own website. I promise you, I'll get there. So I bought 4 of them. And I can't find it. I just built this website. Oh, got it. Okay, this is the reverse. So Sportsman's Alliance of Idaho.org. Sportsman's Alliance of Idaho.org. Through GoDaddy, I bought all of them. Anything that had Sportsman's Alliance. Some of them are parked. They're going to be for future use. So, Sportsman's Alliance of Idaho.org. I don't know if you can see that. That's it. So, the voice of the Idaho sportsman, through us, you'll be heard. At Sportsman's Alliance of Idaho, we're passionate about the outdoors. We want to ensure that opportunities to hunt, fish, trap are always made available to Idaho residents. We fill our freezer with meat just like you. We are not a think tank or a group of political pundits. We are just you, just like you. Everyday hardworking folks who love to hunt and fish. We want our resources protected for us, not sold off to the highest bidder. And that's it, bottom line. So, Sportsman's Alliance of Idaho.org. And I still have the other name, which is Idaho Sportsman's Alliance. I have that one parked. We have to figure out how I'm going to do the pack. I have not built a website for the pack yet. But that's who we are. That's why we're here. And you'll see me hot and heavy starting in the 2025 Idaho legislative session. Anything that happens in our area, our neck of the woods, anything that affects us. Could be mining operations that's going to ruin our water and our fish, or shut us off from hunting opportunities. All of that. Plan on being front and center in that game and partnering up, maybe side by side or with the Idaho Wildlife Federation, and keeping what's ours. So that's it. Going on 30 minutes on this. This is the initial podcast, and I'm going to post this up on YouTube so you can kind of see the video. I plan on having guests on here frequently. I'll do at least once a month. I'd like to do twice a month podcasts with guests, and we'll talk about it. My first guest hopefully will be Brian Brooks, from past director of the Idaho Wildlife Federation. And I've got a few other surprise guests I want to bring on, talk about different subjects. So I'm hoping it'll be fun, and you'll jump on board and be able to financially support us and help us look out for you. So Thanks again, Scott Brock, Idaho Sportsmen's Alliance, and appreciate you guys. Thanks.